Hey everyone, we're about to have a win for Ripple, would be great. It's been a long time since that happened. After 3 years of intense court cases, Ripple has paid an unbelievable $200 million in legal fees. The XRP community has suffered a great deal, but the victory for those who believe in XRP is getting closer. Due to Judge Torres' decision that some transactions were investments, Ripple and the SEC at odds right now. Especially the ones from a few weeks ago that involved big investors. While I was on vacation, I uploaded a video to draw attention to a very important moment for Ripple in which a huge $3 billion was at stake. From a legal point of view, the SEC tried to make the case bigger by including all purchases made after the original complaint in December 2020, according to a recent SEC petition. The sales of XRP to Ripple's on-demand liquidity over the past 3 years have, thankfully, and this is not how the SEC usually does things. Patents have been trying to make the lawsuit longer and cover more ground since the beginning. We can see things more clearly thanks to John Dion's ideas. And I have to say how grateful I am for John Dion's help in navigating these tricky legal waters. We should thank him for always being there for the XRP community. He just put up a long update on his YouTube channel that is full of useful information. And those of you who are following the case, I've summed up some of the most important points to share with you today. However, I recommend watching the whole update to get a full picture. Let's now look at these important new information and talk about what it means for the XRP community and this legal case as a whole. This is the video for today. Could you please quickly do the following for us? If you like what we post, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell on your phone. Our goal is to be honest and open with all of you, and looking at the most recent changes in the stock market and how to handle the ongoing transfer of wealth that impacts everyone equally, including individuals, families, and businesses. It is clear that the legal dispute between the SEC and Ripple and its effects on XRP have been very important. There's 3 years of this change in wealth. In this case, Judge Torres threw out the SEC's broad claims against the whole XRP community. XRP is not seen as a security, they say. The decision was a big win for the neighborhood. Since Judge Torres' decision is now the main point of the case, it was thought that sales to institutional investors were not registered because they were part of investment contracts. These offerings are stuck to my sticky notes to show how complicated this case is. It is clear that Judge Torres did not make a difference. In her opinion, any sales to institutions, including contracts, were not registered. This was a case where the sales were to institutions looking to invest or to support online demand liquidity. I just recently shared my research on the broad meaning of the securities offering without differentiation. This is important for Ripple and the crypto industry as a whole as they try to figure out the legal and regulatory frameworks that make these new financial landscapes possible. The first SEC motion to compel was shared several weeks ago, and it turns out that our first thoughts were pretty close to what we learned from talking to John Dion, an expert who helped us understand the subject much better. Now that Judge Torres has made this decision, and Ripple has to show that some sales to authorized and institutional investors might not be in his broad category. Ripple may not have to face as harsh of a punishment because of this difference. As John Dion says that, Ripple could get a fine that is much smaller than the amount of money the company's already spent on legal fees. That seems to be saying that the IA fine isn't meant to punish Ripple too much, rather to bring attention to the fact that they weren't following the rules and charge a small amount to fix the problem. With this result, Ripple would be able to make the necessary changes and keep doing business as usual. But the CSC, which took a harsher stance, wants all sales posts to be in the case, taking legal action to stop this growth. Ripple can say that the way these sales are set up doesn't look like an investment agreement. Against this defense's attempt to label them as such by the case's outcome. And Ripple's ability to deal with the regulatory environment going forward may depend a lot on their strategy. All of this comes down to Ripple trading XR for regular money in deals meant for institutions that use it for instant cash flow. And this is not a deal to invest money. You don't have to make a profit or wait until a certain time. It says that its sales after the complaint weren't part of the original case, so it shouldn't even have to defend them. By adding these posts, the SEC is once again trying to break the law when it comes to complaint sales. To the present case, February 12th has been marked as a key date in the sea of a momentous event. And we look forward to Judge Torres' decision in the coming weeks. The legal phase called discovery of the remedies is almost over. soon. We'll know if Ripple has to give us their financial statements for 2022 and 2023, as well as any investment contracts that are relevant to the lawsuit. Analyst lawyers, including John Dion, don't think Judge Torres will order Ripple to hand over these documents for the case. This is because any ongoing sales that the SEC wants to include should have been found during the discovery phase according to standard practice. However, it's clear to me that Ripple made those sales, even though the extension doesn't follow the law, with peace of mind because they were well organized. John Dion's analysis gives us important background information and reason to believe that Ripple will soon win. It made it clear that it wasn't an investment contract. He thinks that compared to the more than $200 million it has spent on lawyers, the odds of the fine that Ripple is likely to get will be a lot smaller. He wants to fine them a pretty small amount, which makes people wonder what the exact percentage is. It could be anywhere from 10 to 25. Which means that a fine of $10 million to $50 million is possible. The goal of this type of fine wouldn't be to severely punish Ripple. Instead, it would be to send a message to other businesses that they shouldn't do such things. This point of view shows how important it is to find a balance between following the rules and encouraging new ideas in the digital asset space, which is growing very quickly. Taking into account the possibility that Ripple could be fined between $10 million and $50 million for a company with over $1 billion in cash on hand, positive cash flow, and a large amount of XRP, it shows how the case affects not only Ripple, but also the whole crypto industry. An amount like that would only be a small bother. It doesn't cost too much. That lets Ripple keep doing business. Doesn't change my belief that the SEC won't be able to go much further, especially since Ripple has a strong case. That's the fact that Judge Torres threw out the interlocutory. An appeal shows that Ripple has a strong case. Should she turn down more appeals, backs up the idea that some of the early purchases had terms and conditions that turned them into investment contracts, but these were only for accredited investors. In addition, the companies that want to make the penalties less harsh need to remember that the sales in question happened when XRP was worth a lot less than it is now, suggesting that those who invested are now making money, which rules out any claims of harm in this area and makes the case for a large fine weaker by implying that any fines would be mostly symbolic, rather than making up for any actual losses. And they were meant to set an example for future regulation. Because of this, please remember that I'm not a licensed financial advisor and that the information in these videos is just for fun. I always tell people to do their own research and talk to professionals before you make any decisions about money. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, kindly press the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on alerts so you know right away when I post something new.